Alright, Mirage, it's always a good time to try and get a temperature check, and that's exactly what we're doing. Hopefully, the Mercury says these teams are going to be hot. Or maybe not. Let's find out.
Yeah, it's a big question to be answered between these two Polish sides. Starting CT is Rebels, and already an execute being deployed by Brazy. Spiro sat in the back of the bomb site, something that could go unseen, unchecked here from Brazy. They let their guard down, caught reloading his prism, and Spiro finally flushed out. So that was the hidden element, but they lose a whole lot of numbers before that bomb even goes cycling down. In fact, they're keeping that pressure applied, and it's a battle, a brawl through those smokes. Kisserekk got the knife out, and he doesn't want to commit to the reload on the dualies, but that smoke fades right in front of his eyes, and eventually had to commit to a reload. That's a scrappy round, but Brazy will take it. They run over A.
You know how you said it's a battle of brawn and connector? It's definitely not a battle of brain, I can tell you that much.
I really wasn't sure what Kisserekk was up to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, that round becomes a lot more difficult when the early kill comes out on Flay, and Flay is not able to keep himself alive on CT. That is one of the issues of trying to play like an ace stack. If your CT player goes down, it does feel like one of the major prongs of assault is just taken out completely, and with smokes down to try and cross, it was not going to be a big factor afterwards.
I mean, it wasn't even like it was a stack. It was just such a like slow scaling execute from Brazy that by the time they actually get in the bomb site, Rebels were, everyone was there, so...
Brazy wants to hit them while they're strong. You know, that's how you really break a man. It's one of the cool things that, I don't know if you've followed any Street Fighter. I've barely seen much, but I know a little bit about the very legendary player called Daigo, and he used to say that, hey, I want to play a matchup where my character is weaker against theirs, because that's how I truly break a man. So
yeah, that's a skill difference, you know.
He is like I think he's like 38 and he's still one of the best players in the world, so yeah.
That is pretty baller. I intentionally weakened myself just to beat you and make you feel extra bad.
Oh, he's 42 by the way, sorry, I just checked, yeah.
Hot damn.
Forrest can still do it with complexity at the major, I believe.
Listen, I mean, Counter-Strike has this long legacy of like... I mean, just competitive play, really. I think it's like one of the most organic and long-standing esports in the circuit. But I mean, you gotta always give the flowers to, you know, fighting games as well as like even like arena FPS games, because some of those guys did start a long time ago, and their circuit's not always been the most sort of like the best maintained. But
I hate that I have to say this, but in case anyone's wondering what arena FPS is, Michael does mean like Quake.
Yeah, Quake is really the main one, but sort of like stemmed from, I think, what, inspired by Doom heavily? Was it Doom?
I think it's the same engine. I don't think it's inspired by Doom.
But I mean, it was like
really
the gunplay and things were very similar, and sort of like decided to make it like a first-person shooter multiplayer experience.
Yes.
Yes, arena FPS games.
And that's how we got Counter-Strike eventually. Close to now, though, out in Palace, he's not playing Quake, even if he is playing a descendant of it. Fake being sent out towards the B bomb side, that means that Flay rotates away. Close to will have to deal with Kisserekk. Kisserekk, first kill is easy. Can he get a second? It is a player rotating out. Sparrow taken down. Kisserekk still alive. They're not ready for the double under Palace setup. And Rebels take it away.
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely aware that he was somewhere in the bomb site, but yeah, I don't think they actually had a firm read on his position, so the fact he's able to get away with that secondary kill, I mean, players committing to reloads, just getting caught, not being able to fight back. See if Swizz can recover this one. Because unfortunately, it's been thoroughly pumped in by Rebels on their first gun round. And they're not re-aggressing into the bomb site, still playing very safe. They know that bomb is in a compromised spot. So they might get access to this package. But a plant is almost certainly not going to happen. In fact, a bit of updated information here for Rebels. Swizz knowing he's been spotted, and he's going to just try and punch in those digits, get the plant down. No. And the double spam from both M4s. Somehow he gets away with the plant and his life. He may still have this round to play yet.
Swizz picks up the first one. This will be an absolute disaster. Rebels thought they had this one in the bag, and the fact that they've Honestly, the fact that they've considered a bomb plant to the most spammable position that might be on Mirage. Yeah. I don't know about that one. It's
I mean,
okay.
there's only
we
so
move
many
past it.
places he could plant,
Yeah.
and I think they both spammed like the same spot. That's the only way he gets away with that.
It's also not even like with the M4A1, the spray is so wide that you can actually miss them all.
No, they just shot at the wrong position, so he didn't tuck himself directly into the silos, and I think that's probably why it threw off their aim. You know, maybe give some credit. You know, he did kind of plant a little wide, but the smoke covers it all, so.
He got his job done. That is
Yeah,
true.
absolutely.
3 men
Right.
out into mid this time, though, from the T side, with the Molotov being missed. That's not going to be particularly conducive. Flay peeks out. Flash is good, but Swizz has already moved past it. He's taken down Caseyo, and that leaves only Olimp on the side. Olimp, a man with a nade. Demolition derby going on down here in B. Oh! What to say? Always like myself a little bit of action on the B site where a player's trying to get aggro on Van, but this time doesn't really work out for him. Virtuoso is watching out for it.
Yeah, definitely a cool idea with that smoke, but Virtuoso was too aware of that possibility. Knew that smoke was just a little too tall. It was suspicious. So kept his watchful eye out for it. 3-on-3. Prism took a lot of damage in taking this mid control earlier on into the round, so they are walking a little wounded here on the Brazy side. But meanwhile, Spiro, he was trying to lock down that A bomb site with the XM. He's crept his way all the way through ramp. The problem will be, though, that because he's gone that forward territory, this does leave this massive gap on the A play that if Brazy start to investigate that direction, they'll find it surprisingly open.
I mean, the problem is that Sparrow would also be completely useless trying to rotate back in from connector with the XM unless there's someone trying to play that close stairs position. So it does feel like Rebels will be very heavily reliant on Sparrow maybe picking up another rifle and then trying to go for the full 3v3 retake. Now they are starting to suspect, though. Kisserekk making his way back over to CT spawn. Jungle called out clear by him. That is, of course, going to be quickly rectified later on. Molotov reveals position. First man's low, but Prism just gets the frag directly. And with Sparrow still not having replaced out a weapon, this won't be a retake that they actually want to attempt at all. They'll go back and save. Rebels will allow Brazy the third.
Yeah, they just made the wrong call. They thought they had all the information they needed. And Brazy find the gap and fully capitalize. That's a must-hit shot there from Prism. I mean, one bullet right back into him would have finished off his position. And then defending that package would have been much more difficult. I mean, they expected someone to be in Palace or Ramp. Just based on the fact that there was nobody defending the A-bomb site. And it's not like that wasn't the case, but because Spiro had the XM, I guess he felt more compelled to keep pushing. Because if they came up con on him and he was still playing from Ramp, it's not exactly a fair fight. Very nicely handled. 3-on-3. Brazylijski luz. And I apologize if we are continuing to butcher that for any Polish viewers watching. But apparently means...
Brazylijski luz?
I mean, the first time I read it, I was like, brazylijski luz. And that was definitely wrong. And in fact, my Polish friend told me off for it. But apparently the translation is Brazilian cool or Brazilian chill. But I would like to think you interpret it as
like... Is that a
like...
request? Like, are you asking the Brazilians to chill? Because
That's-
I get that request. That request has been coming from the CS community for a long time, to be honest.
I did ask if you could interpret it as like cool Brazilian or like chill Brazilian. And I did receive like a little half-hearted yes. So I like to think that's probably the right interpretation, but...
Well, Sparrow's got the right interpretation for this round. Starts off strong. Olimp as well, able to get a quick frag out with the 5-7. Advantage on the player jumping down, but that nade isn't going where it's supposed to. Casey could have tried to snipe that Swizz out with a full damage nade, but won't be the case. So despite losing out a few players early on and things getting slightly dangerous, Swizz does recover.
Hey man, all I'm seeing is that Spiro is getting here is the coach coming into play. And continuing to find frags around, but the rest of the team cannot oblige. Once again, Brazy just doing a solid job of finding an opening kill, taking some space, and then actually using some of the extra numbers they have on the attack to just make those defenders so uncomfortable. And there will be no saves here for Kisserekk.
So if brazylijski luz means Brazilians chill or Brazilians cool.
It's like, no,
I'm
no,
guessing
not
luz.
Brazilians, like
So
Brazilian.
Brazil. Brazilian. Okay, so I'm guessing luz means chill. Okay, so lishki, alright. Ishki is probably like Ian. Okay, got it. We're learning here, guys. It's a learning experience, and Rebels is learning that they need to win some rounds.
So if I'm English, I'm Englishishki. Englishishki.
Englishian isn't a word, Michael. I'll have you know. But Kisserekk isn't a full man anymore. He's had 70 of his HP taken away and now put down on the ground. Not able to keep himself alive with the spam from Prism. What a transfer. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, got caught off. He was trying to spam the smoke and then you saw a player. So yeah, that's a really nice control of the spray. Rebels are losing out in a lot of these opening fights, and that continues to be a bit of a problem. POLO just solo investigating with his AWP over at B. Olimp was jiggling from the short side of the site, but didn't actually see that AWPer round that smoke. Virtuoso, a nice gap to exploit, and Spiro does win his once again. That was a way in which this round could compound out of control.
Oh no.
Swizz, nade,
no.
Spiro does his best to dodge, survives.
Very awkward exchange coming out over there, but it actually does give up the fact that it's a B-side hit being planned now by the T's. Olimp, if at any point he wants to try and go for information, he will just fall to a POLO op that's been posted up here for so long. I think he might have an idea of that, though. While he was in the site, he did hear a scoping sound. Now, Flay good for one, and as Swizz is trying to turn the corner, Sparrow's there to shut him down. They're just not ready for the full 3-man stack on the B site.
They all gravitated, and they were waiting for Swizz to get his opportunity in through spawn. That's why they slowed down the play there on Brazy, but Spiro very well aware of that possibility because he spotted that player inside a palace. And this round falls apart. 5-on-3 turned into a 1-on-3 at the end, and a save on Cloku.
Wait, is it Cloku or Closu?
Sorry, Closu. It's Closu.
Right, just checking.
Because I believe his last name is Klosek. Kloshek or Kloshek.
So
and he's
Closhu.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I guess it's Closhu, I guess, but Cloku, I think, still works. I don't know,
We'll
someone that's Polish, tell me which one's right. I tried my best, I tried to do my homework, but I'm also still not Polish.
Could have fooled me. Kisserekk completely smoked off, and the boost on short will need to be focused on a little bit more. Olimp unfortunately caught out, and the nade actually brings both him and Casey down just a peg. With the smoke dissipating down mid, Flame might be feeling the need to try and get aggressive soon. Kisserekk's already hit the deck, and Sparrow's been jump spotting from CT. Won't really be able to add anything to this conversation. A flash does nothing, goes too deep, but still Flay distracted and taken down.
Okay, wow, they just run them over. Just on that quick emergence into the A-bomb site. Hardly much damage being in response here for the Rebels side. I've got to say, I mean, this is Brazy's pick in the series, sure, and you know, Rebels' track record on Mirage is not exactly ideal. It's not even a map they really like picking in their rotation either, which, you know, a lot of sort of fledgling or up-and-coming teams typically sort of gravitate to maps like this, because you can actually get some pretty solid upsets. And Brazy may accomplish that yet here. You know, we had our predictions earlier on, but let's be under no illusions. Rebels are the higher ranked team, and the team that people will more likely recognize for their efforts. The Illuminar squad and even Singularity, where some of these players did sort of stem from on Brazy, weren't the most competitive when they had, you know, these Polish players on it.
I mean, I'll be honest. One of the reasons why I predicted them was also, I just think whichever team comes first in advance, and that's how they qualify, they're always good. Like, that team always makes playoffs. It's such a long history in ESL of that happening more often than not, so yeah. I was kind of leaning in on the history angle as well. Europe's really hard to get an ECL for.
Oh yeah, no, I get that. And over the years, we've been, you know, toying, or from season to season, we've, you know, changed the format, try and make things a bit more accommodating to the circuit, and, you know, some of the teams that you see in ECL are still competing in, like, big LAN tournaments, or sort of big prize pool online tournaments as well, all around the same time, so getting the player scheduling is
we
right.
had Spirit in it as well.
Yeah, it's hard to schedule everything together. But eventually you get enough ESL World Ranking points where it's like, you probably shouldn't be in ECL, actually. Let's just get you into Pro League, and let's see these other guys have their time.
Oh, Casey, beautiful stuff. The double man spray down in the round, which felt like it had absolutely no hope. Might not be able to turn around. Brazy also doesn't get any information about players who might be present in on this A site. They've got no idea about the buy that the rest of them have gone for. For all they know, this is a 4-spy stack with only an M4 leaning in here. Instead, as they start to go forward further, Casey's going to be rotating into CT. Swizz, good for only the one. Sparrow runs at Swizz. Second kill for him with the Zeus, but unfortunately can't make it 2 kills in the round. Flay turning the corner, finds a man who's not planting. Polo's only got an op. This is not the weapon for this round, and what starts off with a fantastic Casey double ends up with a round for Rebels.
Yeah, honestly, shout out Spear. I mean, he's doing a great job at getting his 1 kill, at least in basically every one of these rounds bar 1. And even that trade attempt from Ramp on the Zeus didn't feel the most compelling. It actually looked like Swizz was about to chew him up. He was about to hard clear the angle. That's why Spear started running at him, and it caught him off guard. Definitely did.
Can you imagine just someone with the Zeus running at you on a headshot angle? That is terrifying.
Oh, I mean, you know, there used to be moments when we'd see like 1-on-4s or 1-on-5s, even some of these large tournaments where, you know, the team would try and knife the last player, or sometimes you see in like high-level pugs that will still happen. And even though they're very mechanically skilled, they still get run down.
Oh, this is so cool. Nice little boost coming through. Even though there's an 8 there, there's still a small one-way for Casey. The problem is the one-way doesn't really obscure where you are, and there's really only so much real estate you can occupy there.
Brazy were very well aware. You know, you say being able to get a couple of those opportunities at big events puts a bit of a target on your back. Brazy anticipate that that's exactly that's not just a suspicious smoke. That's a smoke that serves a purpose, and they read into that perfectly. They mollied it. Even though the molly wasn't perfect, they knew that there was somebody still up there. Well researched.
I will say that smoke does feel like large kill from Polo. That smoke does feel like you're probably not going to get much out of it unless it's just a quick shock value kill.
I mean, the thing is, if they both come out swinging towards, you know, connector and window, even if you get the first player off guard, that second player, the aim adjustment is quite difficult, and one that's not very commonly made. So, I think unless you're ready for it, I can see many players get caught out by that.
Okay. Well, Rebels trying to adjust back over to this A side, but unfortunately, kisserekk won't really be able to get involved. Sparrow's so blind. He asked for a flash from his teammates, not expecting it to be overhead about the stairs. Maybe thought it would be behind him instead. That's just not the case.
Gotta give him credit for when they're winning rounds. They're winning rounds quite convincingly. You know, one of the rounds that the Rebels have pulled together was a 3-on-5. Let's not forget. But they're finding these, I mean, pretty monstrous advantages and capitalizing on them rather well. I've been pleased with, you know, I won't pretend like I've been able to catch much of brazylijski luz since they, you know, reconstructed or built a new team coming into this season of ESL Challenger League. But I'm pleasantly surprised.
Shout out Valve to making me learn all the new instant smokes as well. I don't even get paid to play. I just want to do it for fun.
I mean, if you enjoy learning them, then why are you complaining? You have to learn more.
I hate you. Kosu is about to get a little bit closer to Casey. The hard clear, not easy, but there's a second man to do it for him. Swizz trades, and Sparrow, I don't think that's what you planned for. If it is, you know what? These guys have been coming through with some creative one-way, so maybe I'm just wrong.
No, that
Suddenly,
definitely
action stalls.
Yeah, it did stall completely, and Prism had the Sanctuary of a smoke, but Kisserekk also used that to slide into underpass and catch him off guard, so while they slow the roll, Rebels have found an advantage.
Even now, it's a full contact being planned because of that missed smoke from Sparrow, but Kisserekk is over here to try and keep things under control. The A1 continuing to be a fickle beast, only good for the one, but at least advantage can be maintained as Sparrow's kept his life. Flay, though, peeks out overhead, and they're just not ready for the peek from stairs. Sparrow taking down the last one, and even where it looked like maybe there were spaces where Brazy could take control of that connector stairs area, they're not able to.
I think it's always one of the problems with, you know, throwing so much utility in that first round over at A and then slowing down is, unless you've got something to sort of pull attention or pull rotations away from that A bomb site, it can be very difficult to just sort of crawl your way in. You're really just hoping you hit blinder headshots and catch a Rebels player maybe off guard in that situation. Especially once they sussed out the connector lurk, it just reaffirmed that it was still going to be an A-side hit. Rebels did not overstep, over-rotate, or panic when things slowed. Chance there for Olimp. Could have found an advantage, and now he's going to be heavily pressured. But there's a second AWP on short, and so it's between these two AWPs to defend this B bomb site. Olimp just continuing to evade the player that's actually inside of the site with the bomb, no less. Swizz tried to chew out the rotation, but it's nobody falling here. Even though there are players out on the site, Olimp will just continue to thrive.
I mean, that is absolutely insanity. And look, Brazy, you mentioned that they'd been winning a lot of their rounds very convincingly, but the problem is that the one that they lost to the double M4 saved, that took away most of their bank accounts. So now where Rebels looked like they were not really going to be able to put up much of a CT side, now projected to be 6-6, this is a big moment for them. The only thing they have to be worried about is the Tech 9 versus the double op, theoretically, and that double op is going to have to deal with a fast B push. If Olimp isn't able to get a frag, this is going to be very difficult. Flash overhead, but they've already dodged most of it. Casey over here to cover the cross, and Virtuoso finds the frag. Prism gets a second re, and with the op picked up, there was a chance that Flay goes down, but he wins a duel. Molotov a bit late to deny the plant, but even so, main man will be Virtuoso to keep an eye out for. Close range on the Tech 9. They also have to be worried about a late flank to come in through apartments with how much time the CTs are taking. So they try and get aggressive first, but Virtuoso's not ready for the kisserekk angle. An awkward run it was, and in the meanwhile losing out his teammates on the other side. Rebels take it to 6-6, evening up the scoreline as we wait for that second half.
Counter-terrorists win.
Momentum is a lie, and it feels like Rebels have proven that brazylijski luz's lead was mouthful. Wait till we see the rest of this series. It'll be a fun time as Rebels try and make this work out on the T side as well. If you're just tuning in, Sparrow standing in for Rebels, and Rebels trying to rush over to the B side.
Don't know if the momentum's a lie. There's definitely a couple swings, though, in that half. So all about who actually maintains that coming into the second. Rebels, a very slow approach to B, but they've got a whole belt of utility that they're ready to send out, and they've started to throw all of that in. The flash is good, but still able to get away with one is Virtuoso, but they're not prepared for Polo on the boost, but he wasn't prepared for those fights either. They just roll straight over the B defense.
Close has not had a great game so far. Unfortunately, that will be extended. I can't really blame him in that 1v3, but I have to say, Polo kind of dropped the ball over there. Was really set up for success, and unfortunately wasn't able to find any.
Yeah. I mean, Closu was definitely one of the players we wanted to look at coming into this game.
I mean, based on the numbers, he's their highest rated.
Yeah, and, you know, when you go up against a team with, you know, as much experience as they had, you know, that's even without, you know, talking about Spiro, who is, you know, one of the most experienced Polish players in the scene that wasn't in the Virtus Pro rosters, right?
He might be one of the most experienced Polish players of all time now, to be honest, with his tenure.
Yeah. And still active. But with all that experience, you know, you're gonna need a star player and someone that really jumps off the page. Closu statistically was that coming into this game, but yeah, it's not looked too hot. These gosh darn rebels, the insurgency. These Brazilians just want to chill.
Ah, yes. With the famous Brazilian team, brazylijski luz.
Yep.
Sparrow closing the distance on the Eagle. No real upsets over there coming through. Casey does spot out the MP9 of Virtuoso as it tries to descend down silently, but silence is in the grave, and, well, they are being populated by a lot of CT players, so there you go. Did you watch Rebel Moon, Michael?
I don't think so.
All
I
right.
did not.
You didn't miss out on anything. Someone told me that it was basically a rejected Star Wars film that was made until bad. And I didn't believe them. I was like, you know what? I'm going to support new universes. I shouldn't have done that.
I regret supporting the new universes.
I think new universes should not exist anymore.
Let's just keep rehashing the same old ideas, guys. I
If
mean,
you can't have any good new ones, then honestly, go for it, dude. I don't care.
I actually don't like that. I hate that a lot. It's like, yeah, let's remake this same movie that's been made like 5 other times. Okay, you couldn't come up with like an original. Okay.
Up until 2 weeks ago, I was on your side. Then I saw Rebel Moon.
I see. That's quite the indictment.
Honestly, yeah.
Well, I heard some good things about that film, and to be honest, I saw some good things out of brazylijski luz at the start of this game, but now I'm starting to see a little bit of the other side of the coin. Maybe I will be rebel mooned.
Please never use that phrase. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But regardless, Rebels, they're going to be pretty content with the lead that they've managed to get now on their opponent's pick. As a reminder, of course, Mirage isn't really one of the more comfortable maps that they play. You mentioned it earlier on, Michael. And to be honest, when I look back on, and I think back just casually on Sparrow's career, I don't think Mirage was necessarily one of his best maps in general on most of the teams he was on. So maybe it's a bit of a, you know, influence of the leadership in that regards as well.
Yeah, but he's been getting his kills, so can't fault him, and now he's been tagged by a scout, so his prospects of getting an extra kill in this round have gone down quite substantially, especially when there's USPs, MP9s. Yeah, that's not a good time when you have no health to trade.
Oh, meanwhile, push coming out into the CT spawn as Kisserekk to try and cover it off. This is not a good fight to be taken, to be honest, versus the pistols. You will sometimes just get pushed down, and, well, there is Flay to cover it off, fortunately, so the AK won't be lost, but,
no! Yeah. He threw away another AK, and people still on Khalils and Mac 10s.
It's
the
okay,
value.
Michael, they weren't gonna go back again.
I know, but the value proposition, it just feels bad to do. But yeah, they'll happily take that consolation and just start to make their way into B. They still have Olimp inside of the apartments. I can sort of burst in and hunt for clues, see if he can overrun one of these players, and it's most likely to be POLO at the back of the bomb site with his scout. But they played this round slow. They could have gotten that AK back in their hands. POLO,
Nice.
an extra kill. Olimp didn't actually hunt first, which is honestly a bit of a surprise to me, because these riflers wanted to try and get some space, some territory. And now there will be that progression in from the SMG, but they lost track of POLO. They thought he was still inside of the site, and he continues to hit tags.
This is actually getting a little bit dangerous now. The question is, how fast can the CTs rotate over? They're all coming from market, which might be a problem for them. It's very difficult to funnel out in a situation like this up against the Dalils and the Mac 10s. And, well, the scout is gone, and now Casey's here to play control. All those scouts picked up. And that's the old MP wanted to see. Bulldozing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it just felt like there was a bit of a mismatch on who should lead the investigation on B, because there was no chance for them to go back to the A bomb site. They didn't leave a lurk. They're against pistols. You know, walking to a stack is kind of the worst thing that could happen, and giving a rifle over would be also pretty catastrophic. It is good news that short is kind of a hard avenue to recover weapons should you find a kill. But they find and deal with that round handily after the fact. Back at the rifles are Brazy, and they have the AWP Alan POLO. With how many tags he was hitting on that scout, he's dangerous, and he's struck again on that AWP. Found a deep angle inside of the apartments and caught one out just trying to slide into under. Some decent damage right back, but Casey moving through the smoke in topside connector. Virtuoso wasn't all that prepared for it. Juggling between Palace and the smoke and connector, a quick adjustment is nice.
Close is the only one who can try put up a show. At least on the A site right now. And there you have it. Okay, well. Doubles up his kills, good for him. Good to get a couple more confidence kills going forward as well. And it's a first round coming through for brazylijski luz. Rebels really losing control of the early round and unfortunately can't really isolate out close to later on to make that more of a doable situation. Nicely done.
Yeah, they almost had enough time to establish that boost, and maybe if they did, they would have a chance, but it's close, but not close enough.
I'm gonna let that fester.
I just shoehorn that in real quick. 2-round differential.
Get a quick shoehorn into their faces with an AWP. It's a pretty aggressive one, but Caseyo's even more so. Gets his life taken away from him as a result of that aggression. Traded out quite quickly. Ops feeling a little bit more lonely, so he has to take a slightly more defensive angle. Prism, in the meanwhile, is wreaking havoc on the other side of the map. There's good damage being dealt onto Play as well. Rather, onto Virtuoso as well. But it doesn't feel like there's much that Rebels can really get done. There's his one kill, my man.
Yeah, he's not maintaining that consistency. He'd be at like 16, 15 by now, but maybe a chance to get closer if he can somehow recover this round. There is a flank, at least a player that looks to contain him towards that A side. Unless he somehow slipped his way into connector, there's no real escape route here for Spiro. And they're not giving him much of anything.
I think it's the flank is POLO with the AWP as well, so Spiro's able to actually fully walk backwards. Or, hell, even if POLO actually scopes forward or gets a little bit too investigatory, this could be problematic. Now, Spiro waiting it out. He's hoping to catch a timing, but honestly, nothing of the sort will come through. I like the idea of him going back to Palace and maybe just banking on a rotate or something like it, but yeah, it doesn't really work.
Yeah, I mean, he was just hoping that someone investigated that A site, but because they had that flank, they had the security and knowing that he most likely was still there. So, well done there from Brazy. Or Brazy. To un-anglicize my pronunciation. That was a nice showing from Prism to get that all started. He was the one that was holding things down initially. Rebels down to pistols here in this moment, so Brazy a chance to tie things up. They are waddling their way down the underpass, and they do find the head of Prism, who over-investigates. A rifle recovered, but they are being singed heavily by the flames. Spiro having to duck away into middle. But Flay, unscathed by that Molotov, does escape with the M4.
Question is, do they want to reset into a full side hit or continue this default forward? Because the problem is they don't have flashes, so you can't really try and scale with the Tech 9s too easily either. Nice kill from Virtuoso. Sparrow's found an... Ooh, big miss from Polo actually. Ends up potentially even being punished. Swizz swings out. It's not an instant kill. That could have been a nice little frag to find as well. Potentially Virtuoso as well. Can't prevent the crossover, but at least he can prevent the bomb from making its way into the site. Fully relies on his teammates who are rotating in through market, but Olimp's already got one of those frags. Olimp now traded. Swizz still has to deal with Kisserekk. Might not realize that Kisserekk's gone down and the bomb could be planted. What? I mean, Swizz hasn't actually moved from that position at any point in this round, so I feel like trying to plant for a short is, you know, it's ambitious.
It was definitely him thinking that Swizz had repositioned. You know, he could have found that kill, tried to link up with his player inside of market, especially with Olimp crossing with the Tech 9 and doing some damage to those players rotating market. I could understand, you know, visualizing that Swizz would want to play together in that circumstance. So, just getting caught off. I mean, it wasn't a round that they had a lot of ambition in anyway. It's just upgraded pistols. I'm sure they got their hands on a rifle, but can't expect too much. Full buy here, and much faster. Olimp charging up short and finds his kill, but Casey has as well found the player that looked to aggress into the underpass at the start of the round. Instead gets kind of caught in no man's land, and just like that, Rebels have a man advantage and a whole lot of the map to play off of.
Sparrow's also fully crept out onto the balcony.
Don't drop.
He's gone. Oh no, they're not able to react in time, and Sparrow jumps up. Two players watching out for something like it, but now they have to try and isolate it. He's just playing distraction in the meanwhile. They're rotating back to the A site on the rest of the three. Sparrow's managed to lock down two players into the site, even getting frags as he's doing it. This is way more than you could have asked from him.
Yeah, I mean, considering the situation he was in, absolutely. Did a great job of at least getting that one kill in his circumstance. Swizz just trying to save now. I mean, a 1-on-3 is very ambitious. And he should succeed. No one of the Rebels is going to be in pursuit. A 10th round for that side of this Polish derby. And, I mean, you know, if Spiro had... You know, this is the thing. His teammates had already cleared out short. So there's kind of zero possibility that player could be peeking him from short. He could have just sat on the end of apps and waited to see what sort of reinvestigated on the Brazy side while the rest of his team were kind of setting up for an A play.
But
he
instead
didn't.
he chooses to occupy their attention by dropping down.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely kept them entertained.
Yeah, that's true. And us. Thanks, bro. It's been so boring if you just sat in apartments for their entire round.
Oh, wow. Okay, I mean, suddenly the right play is the boring play.
Shout out Astralis. I mean, maybe not anymore. It's been a while since I could make that. It's been like 5 years, actually. It's pretty nuts when you think about it.
Yeah, stop living in the past.
I mean, they've certainly stopped living in the past, that's for sure.
And they're not fan future at the moment either.
Close. Fine to be taken into a main. Olimp had the advantage for the first, but repositioning, caught on the drop down. Trade is good for the CTs, but they've got no mid control to speak of whatsoever. Hell, they've barely got any B side control either.
It's a really important trade there from Prism. Catching Olimp on that timing, like you said, but had he stayed, he almost certainly would have gotten pre-fired in that corner as well.
Damage is great, and it's even led up to with another spray down. Virtuoso can take Flay apart. The fact that there's two in connector, but Swizz in the meanwhile all alone on this site, not aware of Kisserekk. Kisserekk gets a jump on him, and despite that, it's a 2 versus 4. Brazylijski luz does look to be equalizing on 10. Unless there's a big play to be made, Kisserekk likely the man to try and make it. Both of these players have been having a couple of good standout rounds. The question is, can this be another one of them?
Don't be dissuaded. This is a 2-on-3. And Brazy are trying to use that man advantage, but Casey's found his kill on short. That was an angle they had to be concerned about, but they've split up here on the Rebels side. They could have guaranteed that trade, but they sit at bench instead via kisserekk, and he's just buying time, finding that first. Virtuoso trying his best to hunt him down, and Casey will cover the push. Between the two of them, they recover, and they succeed where, you know, sometimes Brazy didn't feel like they'd always pull together advantages or disadvantages when they're on that T side. Rebels, I mean, they do it, what, 2-on-4?
Yeah, that's very, very well played between them. Even just how they're bouncing across those players towards the very end. And sure, I mean, kisserekk's first kill was a trade, so maybe you'd say 3v4, but effectively, it's the same thing, right? It's a situation that Brazy, unfortunately, have not really been able to get going for themselves. They're not winning these man disadvantages, two-man down clutch situations pretty much ever. That is that difference in experience coming through. Now, money fully reset, stack on A, and the hit is on B.
Yeah, well, you call it, it's a stack, and that does just leave this bomb site open for the taking. 50% of the time, this works every time.
Is this what it felt like in the old times to set up an ambush and no one comes? You're just sitting there for like a full day. You're like, damn, they just chose the other route. Oh well.
Yeah, but that's why you set up multiple ambushes on multiple routes, so at least somebody gets something.
They don't got that kind of manpower, dude. Old days means like population of the Earth was like 40 people.
Okay, well, why are we ambushing each other if there's 40 people in the world? Well, this wasn't really a round to really talk about. Very simple stuff, but a very breezy 12th for Rebels.
No, please, no. Like, next you're going to be talking about them going to go play polo instead or something.
What? That wasn't even a pun I was making.
Yeah, but I wanted to do it without sounding terrible.
Well, no, I legit wasn't making a pun. I'm very confused.
No.
Easy breezy 12. That's all I said.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. You've really
it's brazy. I thought that's a joke.
Oh, no.
Breezy is easy.
Listen, there's also, but breezy, and like, you know, there's a breeze. Anyway, this Brazilian chill, unfortunately, has
chilled out too much.
Yeah,
Maybe
probably.
Needs to start cooking a little bit.
Rebel squad is heated up, and some important rounds being won along the way. 2 saved M4s in one, a 3-on-5 in another, a 2-on-4. These are rounds that you can't afford to have escape you, but your pick. You needed to really test your mettle, and Olimp has certainly come to play. Nice kill, but traded immediately, but they're going to immediately barrel into the A play off of that.
There goes Kisserekk, finds Polo with a nade in his hand as well. Kisserekk wants to keep it going, but that's where Prism can cover. Still a 3-on-3, so CT still have a chance in it, but Casey has been the difference maker consistently across the series. Flay, what's going on here? Not ready for the rotate from CT at all, and now Casey, with the recovered op, has to do it on his own. He's trying to buy some more space for Sparrow to try and go for a flank as well, but at this point, with the ammo running out as well, this is going to be a very difficult round for Casey to try and keep laying distraction on. He can't just spam through either. They don't seem to have any idea of the flank potential, though Sparrow might just be able to get both these players at this rate. Flashbang forward as well will keep them occupied. Sparrow's going to be coming through with a close. One, can't get two. Swizz finally gets a whiff of things towards the very end, so CT's take it away with just the one saved.
Yeah, oh, wow, I didn't expect that to fall into Brazy's hands like that. And they even had a flash. You know, they're setting up for the flank, and, you know, positionally, if that flash had gone in when the flank was actually ready to activate, weirdly it would have gone better, right? But he's just trying to delay and trying to distract, hoping that all attention was raised on the A site, but Brazy kept that in the back of their mind, that it was a possibility. Their shadow boxing paying off. A 2-round discrepancy once again, and money is kind of low enough here on the Rebels that, you know, Brazy wins here. The next round won't be the most heavily reinforced by on the attack. So this is really Rebels' best chance. They'll have to do it when that AWP is kind of uncontested on the defense.
Virtuoso spots out the man jumping up as well. Olimp is down.
Did he actually see him?
I think he saw just a little bit, but I might be wrong in all fairness. That is an awkward visual duel. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely would have been audio cues, but there was also gunfire and other things happening around the map. There could be comms. They could have just normally boosted up as well, so that's also a possibility they have to consider.
I mean, certainly they have an idea that Sparrow's there now, though. With the Molotov being shown off as well. Closu. Not the best place to have an MP9, to be honest, especially with the Molotov at your feet. Swinging out into A main isn't the easiest. He will be taken down, and with that, at least Rebels can still make a show of this. 3v4, they'll have to recover another man disadvantaged position, but this time the bomb plot is in the right location. Full rotation in through CTs. First kill is good. Casey is gone. Big fragger for them so far, but maybe Rebels can do it without him. Flay keeps himself alive, crosses over as well, and Sweet is doing the same. Catches off Flay, and Kisserekk all down to him. Polo's there to punish. Rebels, despite the bomb plant, can't get it together. The man advantage paying off for the CTs again.
Yeah, they really weren't expecting all of those players to be in through CT. They tried to just rush in with numbers on the Brazy side, and you could see from Flay's point of view, he kept killing these players. One from Con, another a Ticket, and he just kept hunting for players in jungle or connector and expecting another player to be there, only to get a shot in the back. Instead, his position was tantamount because they knew exactly where Kisserekk was. He was spotted inside of Palace at the very start of the retake. That's one of those positions where, with all the good shooting, Flay almost needed to sort of calm down and pick a spot. Polo, though, has been lights out in a couple of these rounds, just finding opener after opener here for Brazy on the AWP.
Does feel like overtime might be calling. Still, Rebels not ready to give it up just yet. Very defensive setup out towards this middle of the map area for Brazy again. They are content with giving up potential window control. They've managed to deal with it before, but now with the player much further ahead inside the A side, close to found some success here before. Might be another chance for him to do the same. Peeks out, but Sparrow's there to punish this time.
Oh, good angle from Swizz, and Polo continuing to find kills on this AWP. So 2 players inside of connector with SMGs, and Polo's still trying to keep some pressure applied from CT, but they double up inside of jungle. That smoke is going to allow them all that safety. Casey flushed out, and Swizz is going to clear out and find the information on Flay. A 1-on-3 presented to him. This could close the map or extend it into the overtime. A smoke that lands at his feet, but Virtuoso round the back of it. He'll succeed, and we are diving straight into an overtime on our first map in the series.
Counter-terrorists win.
And you'd want nothing more than that, or rather nothing less than that in a domestic matchup like it. 6-6 on both sides, and it did feel like Rebels was going to run away with that, but towards the end, they just can't get the right finishers on the A site. Even when they got bomb plant in, sometimes forgetting about the rotation from CT. Later on, when they do cater to it, then the man advantage catches them off. It does feel like Rebels are maybe getting a little bit floundered in the late round, and brazylijski luz is doing a great job of exploiting that.
Felt like the Rebels were getting the better end of the stick in some of these clutch rounds, but something awoken in Brazy when it came to crunch time.
The Beast. And the Beast is Polo. Been such a consistent piece for them. Early kills galore. That will be no different. Closu trying to find a slightly better position for himself than default. That wasn't too loyal in the previous one. Casey around the corner. Closu might have missed the time on him, but as he peeks forward, Casey's still not ready. And with the smoke dissipating on Palace a little bit too late, there can't be a trade. Closu can keep himself alive. Kisserekk decides to trade elsewhere. will find Prism and take him down, but even then losing another man in the process. POLO now locks down Palace, so Kisserekk will have his chances mitigated, but still missed op shot, and Flay still peeking forward. The problem is he's got an op as well. Oh. 1v3. Bomb not planted this time. POLO trying to get aggressive, and all he's doing is trying to buy space for Swizz.
Yeah, I think Flay was trying to almost get himself a plant or something, or try and sort of whisk his way out with the smoke, but they were ready to challenge just as that smoke bloomed. Kind of surprised POLO decided to swing the top side of stairs with the AWP when his teammate wasn't actually like close stairs to swing with him. But it all worked out. Once again, POLO just continuing to perform in Swizz as well. I mean, he's got 20 kills. He's highlighting POLO even though he's only on 16. But he's been so consistent in his opening fight. Prism just sending it up top middle. Does get one, but traded immediately by the AWP back of Rebels. And my next question is, where's POLO? What's he doing? He's currently rotating towards this B bomb site as Swizz decides to aggress slightly to short. And that does leave olimp somewhat exposed. Flash in. Ooh, and a chance. One that POLO has not missed too frequently so far in CT.
Oh. POLO actually maintains the angle despite being 5-off. Wants to try and fight into this. Sparrow not gonna get away with his life, but olimp can't say the same.
Okay, what do you do from here? An AWP inside of jungle has decided to take some space, and Brazy have conceded quite a lot of it. Inside of Palace, they do have at least late activator in Closu, and they know he's typically the anchor on this bomb site, so suspicions will be raised. But they're deploying utility in from spawn, and that could distract them from the greater threat. POLO found, Spiro floored, and Closu just trying to maintain his spot.
Oh, first of all, this is so beautifully played as well, just trying to isolate the duel into stairs, but he can't get it right. Instead, Kisserekk can overrun and even go for the bomb plant. All they need is a good cover from Palace. Kisserekk not sticking to it. Swizz finds Flay, and now it's all Kisserekk with barely any bullets in the magazine. Gets it done.
No bullets, time was starting to wind down as well, and as soon as he starts taking those challenges, just immediately ready for the attempted trade. I mean, that's just class mechanics. Some clean shooting there from Kisserekk. And a much-needed moment. It honestly feels like POLO is dominating them on the CT side with the AWP. He's getting his kill so consistently that that's incredibly disruptive. You know, they just don't have a read on where he's starting or how to really deal with this AWP so far.
Sparrow taken down as they're trying to get that mid control. So far, it's been a lot of rounds from Brazy that we've seen him actually give up fighting from mid early on. That's what Rebels was hoping for, and now they're gunning it down towards B, but they're being gunned down instead. POLO still covering it off, and again, always good for one. Now looking for a little bit more. Molotov's on the ground, but blind or not, Swizz gets his one. Kilosu and POLO can finish it off 14 for Brazy.
I don't think I've ever really tried that strategy that Swizz employed, but full blinded with a smoke in front of him, he just started running and spraying and hoping that bullets connected, and his teammates were there in full force, so even had
That's why he's the pro, Michael.
Even if had he fallen, there almost certainly would have been a trade of some capacity. They wouldn't have lost the bomb site, but gotta respect it. Running and gunning with the M4A1S, actually not terrible. But save it for mid to close range, please. Still, minor advantage for Brazy, and it felt like the wind had been pulled out of their sails going into the second half, but they put a solid CT shift in. Rebels now getting a bit of AWP impact themselves via Flay. And they have olimp on a secondary, but Flay, very dynamic, found his first in middle, and gets one on ramp as well.
Is this just going to be a show of the CT operas coming through and flexing? If it is, I'm honestly all about it.
I think it's just, they're not even really flexing. They're just going to a spot, aiming at spot, and killing a person in spot and moving. That's like...
It's like the old money flex.
Yeah, I love it because it's so simple, and you know, if anybody, wants to be a pro player, I'd always look at AWPers like that, just because it's about anticipating and also being hard to read.
Virtuoso is gone, and even is kind enough to own a gun behind him. Oh, that's nice. All right. We've seen some good man disadvantage situation. The 2v5, though, might be asking for a little bit much at this stage. Osu mollying off the AWP early on. Olimp is gone, but the real man hidden away is still Casey. He's waiting for the push to come through into the site before he activates. There's no one checking in for him, but he gives it up. He's not able to get that second shot out after the dink. Flay revealing his position. Now he's gone as well. It is a 2v5. And they haven't lost even the one so far. Kisserekk has got no idea how to scale onto the site. They could be anywhere at this point. CT, hell, they could be in Palace. Kisserekk gets the first. And now it's only Swizz left. Barely any HP on him. The call should be there. Swizz hoping to try and take the fight early on, and as Kisserekk swings out, he does prevent disaster, but only the 1 HP. That's literally all that separates them from a 2v5 or not.
Oh my goodness, that is so close. Once again, Kisserekk coming in with another 1-on-2 when we enter the overtime, and yeah, 1 health is a ridiculous margin to escape with. And you understand why anyone would peek in that circumstance. Just hearing that nade being pulled, that felt like maybe his best chance.
I mean, they won the 2v5, they just lost the 2v1.
Yeah. What a saving grace. That could have really blown up in their face.
Oh, they're going in through the Molotov. They're trying to accelerate, but they're so low. There's no way you scale onto the site. Kisserekk can cover off as well, and Rebels will sniff the desperation and hunt them down. Polo, sure, good for one, but you don't have the bomb, buddy. What are you going to do?
Yeah, they almost 2v5'd. What's a 1-on-3?
Hard. Oh, sorry, was that rhetorical?
I mean, if I compare difficulties, it's not so bad.
Well, let's find out. Maybe Polo likes to play on an easy mode, though. And he is fading away. They have the money to buy in the next round, to be honest, so there's no reason to do this. But maybe wants to try and go over towards the B-bomb side and see if he can get a kill in middle before that, anything like it. He's got time to play with.
It does feel like he's just not really, playing the same game the Rebels are. They're yelling Marco, and he's just not shown his head, not said anything.
How do you actually play Marco Polo?
Close your eyes. I think it's like, yeah, close your eyes. Everybody that's hunting, and they say Marco, the guy has to say Polo. You try to tag them.
I see. Polo might be able to find one of these Marcos. Olimp around the corner if Polo is good on the pre-fire or the adjustment. What, guys? That is not the play, guys. I'm telling you right now. I'm hoping that's a click. Right, nothing else, but yeah.
Huh?
We're like a right click.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't know why we decided to look away there. I mean, we knew exactly what was gonna happen, but it's all good. Olimp closes it, a 3-on-1. And Rebels, a nice chance to cut this all to a close in the first overtime. They've won some pretty outrageous rounds, like man-down situations, clutches, and the sort, so it does feel like that should be their edge coming into this. But still, man, Polo didn't get much of a chance in the 1-on-3, but does find his opener once again on this AWP.
Well, feels like it might be in for another overtime unless Kisserekk can come through with a miracle. No miracles, not this time.
Hi, caramba. They just flood mid. They just decide to send so many bodies in through middle, and they roll over all the defenses there from Rebels. Even the players trying to play close ramp. I mean, they just feel so out of position by the time the Brazy are going in for this faster split. 2-on-4. They've chewed it down to a 2-on-3. Flay still holding onto his position, and they now know about Olimp's flank as well. There are kits, and there is some utility. This would be really, really poor should it fall away, but Prism secures one, and Flay will just be another casualty. We go again! Another overtime, 15-15. This is what CSGO would have presented you as the first. But new timeouts, same game, but a second overtime instead.
I will say I like the fact that they go from flood A to that didn't work. What next? Flood mid. If we're following the trajectory, I think we might be seeing a B side hit, Michael. Something about that would be very satisfying.
Okay, yeah, they're just checking boxes, like, which have we tried to rush and use an overwhelming?
Hey,
and
we're saying flood. It sounds more tactical that way.
yeah, I mean, flooding is definitely the right term. Oh, they threw some mid-util, but they are starting to gravitate a couple players over towards B just for some quick information.
The dams are creaking. Will they hold? B side is going to be the play, it seems like, but Olimp's already gotten ahead of it. And to be honest, Brazy can still decide against it as well. Abandoning middle, but both teams have been happy to do that at times. Quite a few flashes left for the CTs if they want to try and retake it though and fight into it again. Kisserekk, forced off by the Molotov, can't actually maintain inside jungle. All he wants to take care of is just anyone who's trying to boost up or something like it and then cross over. Both sides have forward-facing players. They both have aggressive CTs available, so Brazy will have to take some duel, but as they're going in through connector, Sparrow might be running out of bullets. He's dropped off of CT, and Swizz is looking for a timing to exploit. Sparrow, when he re-aggresses, actually falls off the box, and that helps him out. Nade is beautiful. That's going to be juicy. Brazy tagged up before the fights have even begun. Flay is covering off. The Molotov does not spread to him. Good for nothing, actually. Only given a second chance as he repeats back out over, and Sparrow, despite looking like there was a world where he drops 3 on his own.
Yeah, a much slower builder, but they tried to just creep their way into the bomb site, and they're just unseen angles, unsuspecting ones. Even when Flay had missed his opportunity on that AWP, able to still deny that bomb, and their attempts to take over deep CD control just blow up in their face. Rebels, I mean, they don't get spun every which direction, even with a couple attempts at maybe a bit of misdirection. Keep their heads screwed on straight. Back to some mid-aggression here from Brazy, and the ult of POLO did take its angle rather quickly. Kisserekk actually was in a decent position at the start of it, but I guess didn't want to be sort of pre-aimed, pre-fired, but tried to catch them off guard. Once again, POLO is just so ready.
Has been the shining light in that second half and beyond, honestly.
It's just been nice consistency. Nothing too flashy, nothing too crazy. Here's one, and it gives a lot of room for the rest to succeed.
Olim's got to try and put up a show, but he's not even got the camera to do it. 2 versus 4, and as many of these as we may have seen, it does feel like this one was always going to be impossible.
Thank you. That's nice and free. Sphere trying to get back on track for his one around. He's falling a bit behind, but he's hanging with the rest of the players.
Now the goal's 1 KD, right? Like, if you can't do one around, 1 KD is fine too.
Yeah, he's still hanging with the rest of them. I will say Brazy, the thing that really impressed me from their T side was just how good they seem to be when they are actually paced up. You know, when they start to like hesitate and slow down, it does feel like there's a little bit too much umming and ahhing, and they almost lose their rhythm on the take.
Yeah.
But when they actually do just commit to a bomb site, it actually looks very clean. Like the pathing, the crosshair placement, and how they aim. It's been hard to combat. That's why I think we've seen both of these sides have pretty successful T sides all in all.
It does feel like Brazy, if you move past the first minute mark and they don't have a substantial advantage, it does feel like their chances of winning just do go down pretty significantly. And maybe they realize it as well. Triple nade down middle, no kills found, and Flay, well, he's going to be flashed off the angle as well. Smoke to cover off a potential short rush in, and in the meanwhile, he's already losing his teammates elsewhere. Flay keeps himself alive for another attempt at things, but even that's barely a fair fight.
Very short-lived. Oh, Kisserekk tried to slide out from Market, but just meets the same fate as the rest of the defenders. Spiro, nice sharp shooting. Only with 2 exits that last round, but Prism puts him down. A 17th, and once again, getting a nice little advantage coming into this. This time, Brazy having that minor edge, and all they need is to pull together what started as a, honestly, very... they had some nice defenses on the CT side, a lot of it propped up by the opening of POLO, but then you had some, you know, nice rifle work from Swizz and Prism, Virtuoso, all of them chiming in at different rounds. He's the one unforgotten factor, this AWP. I found like it was getting free kills, like his angles weren't getting flashed off, and he was constantly finding new ways to get an opening.
Oh, right on mid, close to close, switches out for the AK as well, but as he's trying to re-peek, Flay and Sparrow shut him down. Flay, however, not ready for the second prong of that assault, and that came through short, but in the meanwhile, players are being traded all across the map. The bomb is down, so despite kisserekk gaining ground, if Virtuoso can just stay the line, Prism can't come over and give him a flashbang to help as well. Yeah, flashbang flies right through kisserekk, as blind as can be.
Perfect play. That was all their real prospects. You know, that was round security, the position that was held by kisserekk. And that's so well done by Brazy. Spiro, this older gent, coach standing in, has hit some pingers. The clutch would certainly go a long way. Kisserekk has delivered a couple so far in the overtimes. Spiro is still trying to piece it all together. They flashed, they took all the control back in CT, but they don't actually retain or hold from that position. So Spiro starts to make his way over, and if he crawls all the way through spawn over to B, Prism's actually in a pretty poor spot, and Virtuoso's not going to have an angle to anticipate this. Spiro might be making the perfect play.
This is massive. There's no world where Prism checks for this. Surely not. Oh, he is starting to suss it out. He's starting to try and look around, explore his options.
Oh,
Sparrow doesn't register it! Sparrow! Eyesight goes with age, and Sparrow's feeling his.
Oh, he started swiping left and right, and he was definitely on screen for a fraction of a second. I mean, this is the thing, you know, if you're seeing no contact on B, your guesses, bench, van, short apps. And you could have eliminated bench as an angle, then cleared to van. You don't have enough time to clear all of them, but yeah, just not seeing it. Now certainly a chance, but Brazy in the lead. But once again, they try and go aggressive in through middle. This time Rebels don't send a player out, almost fed to the wolves. It's Flay that strikes first on this AWP. So man advantage held, found, and retained. This time no back and forth trading all across the map.
No one inside the B side itself. They've decided to prioritize holding on to mid and just swarming back for a retake wherever they need to. POLO on the A side is assumed to be enough for at least the equalizer safely should they come in for a hit. But in the meanwhile, Olimp, who did show some hesitation before to try and go out first, now feels like he has been dedicated to that very same idea. A late flash, a late Molotov, anything like it might start to lean the CTs over to the B side. The time is very low. There's only so many options for the Ts to exercise, but a smoke is a lurk smoke. Nothing beyond that. They maintain positions here on A, but POLO's been flashed off the angle and he can't go on for another fight because there's a smoke in. He tries to beat past the timing, but doesn't get the shot, and now comes a T-Swarm. The A side taken over, the bomb planted.
Don't have a lot of offensive utility, but they line up the spam, but they don't deny the plant. So back into equal numbers, 4 on 4. Brazy, they have a couple of smokes, but no Molotovs to flush any of these players out in the open.
Olimp finds the timing though. Virtuoso is down. Prism trades. And the CTs are Just going to be holding on. There are 2 players in A main. One of them has an AWP as well. There's a smoke for the defuse. That is going to be vital. But Swizz needs to actually get close enough to the site itself to do it. And instead of trying to smoke off the defuse, he's prioritizing just smoking off the cross. And that's not going to be it. Casey keeps himself alive. Has got no reason to peek. And when the upshot rings out, Rebels can take it away.
Yeah, they were not sold on that fake. You know, a smoke, a Molotov, like you said, it was a lurk smoke, and it was so late that they'd already started gravitating over towards A, and even if they wanted to make that rotation, they would still sort of make their way in through jungle, the market windows, so the timings felt a little bit sort of off and a little awkward, but they didn't anticipate that there would just be 4 players holding in through middle. Brazy came in with some conviction that they were going to try and retake a bomb site, but when it comes down to it, you know, just not having Molotovs, no HEs makes it so much more difficult. Nice little nade play to give Polo a chance in window. The Molotov as well will singe them out from those top mid boxes. But this time, those AWPers are not finding the opening pick so soon. Swizz does have a secondary here, though, for Brazy. No real targeting as of yet here from Rebels either. Very spread and waiting for some kind of a forward push. They do boost up Swizz into the apartments. The fact that Olymp is sort of sat into the right side could actually potentially catch them off. Oh, this is dangerous. Walking forward and changing positions. If Olymp takes that crouch swing, he'll have an advantage on this fight, but only for a fraction of a second.
The fisheye looks so annoying.
For angles like this, perhaps.
Shouldn't really be too relevant overall, but Swizz is still gonna have to get that adjustment in if he wants to have a chance at any impact in the round.
Oh my goodness.
He's almost caught out. Swizz is getting so impatient, and he hasn't dropped down yet. They know it as well. A Molotov will force him away, and now as he goes down, it has to be a no-scope or a quick one, and neither one of them is connecting. refinedPrism instead. The one to get the frag, and Virtuoso still alive on the back of the site. Might not be checked, but he's not got the timing. Olymp will be able to clear it out uncontested. Virtuoso caught looking elsewhere. In the meanwhile, Close pushes forward. Polo, the hero, won't be able to pull out his cape right now. Rebels take it to a 3rd overtime.
Yeah, I mean, we just can't get out of Mirage, it seems. Both teams converting on 2 rounds on their T sides, and we go again. Yeah, this is like small minor things that feel like they could be refined. You know, if your lurking player has like a 4 spot, in general, don't have that man throw the util, because it kind of gives... Players are very good at visualizing. Like, when they see a smoke bounce off a wall in a particular way, it does kind of give a sort of, like, bat echolocation. Like, this is where he was last seen, or this is where he was when he threw that. And so you want your players behind your lurker, almost so that your lurker could act as serve as an entry fragger. They almost get caught by that. You know, that could have been a reason why Brazy came away with that round. Swizz had an open opportunity to find a first before the hit even happened. But also, lurkers are all going to hold on to their utility quite long, and so, you know, he was probably the only man left to do that role. It's all behind us now. Brazy could not close. They got there too. They had one successful defense, and now it's a different look here from Brazy. They haven't gone for a double ramp fight, but they've been wanting to take the fight. You know, it's very clear that they don't want to just sit on bomb sites and let Rebels get full dictation on how they approach these rounds. They do want to disrupt. Just not always been in the right spots.
Oh, Prism's almost caught out, but he is able to get away to safety. Kisserekk descends, and he's definitely not ready for a player around the corner, especially an off peeking him close range to take him down. Second man on Palace, though, is still uncontested. Polo gets a second. Olymp trades, but that's where Prism comes in as insurance. No more up for the CTs, but it shouldn't really matter. Flay pushes him out. The Molotov's actually the one that gets the kill, but they're not ready for a second player inside. I mean, surely not. Oh, Sparrow. Is he going for the knife?
No.
No. Yes? No? No. Yes. Oh, no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
He doesn't get anything, in fact. No knife kill, no kill at all. He had 15 seconds, so he didn't have time to go for a knife if he still had prospects of winning the round. No real value in saving unless you're committing to double orbs. So it took him a little too long to line up that headshot. We cut him some slack. He's hit some nice shots in general. It's been a pretty well-rounded performance on both ends of the server, I have to say.
Yeah.
You know, a couple players maybe slow to jumpstart the engine, but all caught up by the time we hit overtimes.
Swayze is locked in to a corner that he would not like to be a part of.
Call him Swizz Cheese.
He's a holy man. Close. Oh, Kisserekk peeks out behind the smoke before it blooms and just evaporates Close. CT is feeling like they would really like a bit more manpower. POLO decides to even the score a little bit more. But as the rotation for Virtuoso is being called over, he won't have any utility. POLO still has to be the primary one to find these frags. There are smokes available for the T sides, and CTs are losing another man. Molly down in A main, and rotation from POLO means that this is basically a round guaranteed. There's so few chances of actually getting back in. No, never mind. Maybe not. I lied. It is.
Wait, what I don't know what you saw.
I'm not gonna lie. My vision blurred for a second, and I saw Casey in the connector. Yeah, it's a little bit late for me. I won't lie.
Yeah, I thought you were seeing something and I didn't, and I was like, wait, no, this POLO is almost certainly dead, and sure enough, he did die. Nice job from Casey, just keeping eyes on, cut off the rotates, and catching players off guard. I mean, very difficult. POLO basically had to, like, fight inside of the A-bomb site if they wanted any chance of winning the round. Or someone had to make a egregious error on the rebel side, and that didn't happen either. Fighting mid-floor, POLO dropped down and is looking to re-challenge in from Con. Flay had the angle, almost hits the flick, but POLO wants to press the issue. Molotov behind him, so no longer able to retreat.
He's banking on there not being another player inside underpass, perhaps, but Casey, what POLO doesn't realize, because he's all scoped in, Casey's moved past. I think he made sound, but you know what? Comms and everything can get in the way of that. Sparrow finds a second kill elsewhere. Virtuoso as well looks away, but he's able to get both adjustments. Virtuoso, my man's coming in hot right now, and he wants to keep that heat going. He's got cup fire to make sure he can get away, and the CTs are fine with resetting in this 3v2.
You must really, truly be a Virtuoso. Perfect bit of nade damage as well onto Flay. Doesn't land directly on him. Could have finished off the job, but only weakens their prospects further and further. Brings him into 2-bullet range as opposed to potentially 3. And they've got a quick flank available on A should there be a bomb planted that direction. They're deciding to try and bypass. The thing is, there is a timing, and Virtuoso won't go back to clear it in time. Swizz, it's all on him. And sitting in from bench, we saw Spiro try and piece it all together when there was an anchor on B last time, and they didn't clear bench. This will be something in the back of their minds. They go out and they look exactly for it. They find the man. Virtuoso quick behind them, though, and does find one just as they're about to go for the plant. But kisserekk's not prioritizing the plant, and that will simply be how Brazy win another round. He could have punched in those digits. He could have committed, but he just didn't have the time to play with there.
And good on Virtuoso for the fast rotate as well from A side when he realizes that he'd left that opening again. So he's able to get the quick kill on the planter. That's very nice for him.
Yeah, I mean, they were always on a timer because they cleared in from ramp. They walked through CT, and so when they saw A was just completely dead silent and empty, it's like, they're probably not coming here. We should help this B guy because he's in trouble.
Again, Rebels trying to go for a little bit of mid-aggression with Kisserekk jumping out a window to go connector, but he just gets taken down. POLO finding the pick.
When is he not? He's honestly been great. Yeah, maybe boring AWPing. Ooh, he's not going for flashy, crazy plays, but it has been such a force, such a problem for Rebels. Didn't start off this way. You know, it's that CT side that really propelled him and I think brought him back into this game, and now it just feels like on T side he can still get those openers.
Thing is, they have stalled a long time to actually come into this A site. Play finds Virtuoso. Sparrow's taken down, but there's still 2 more players ready and waiting. Only 1 smoke from Swizz, and that they double smoke out connector in jungle when they already have some connector presence. They're really worried about the rotation coming in through jungle, but fortunately for them, they've got enough Molotovs and flashes to keep them at bay. The real problem might be Olimp, who's activating on a fast-ish flank. Prism goes down to the nade as well, and POLO is about to be caught out. Never mind, he is. Of course not, it's POLO. Keeps an eye out. The Shadow gives up Caseyo, and it feels like everything that Rebels had planned out, it is falling apart.
Yeah, they had a flank that was hoping to catch a player out on ramp, but POLO had his attention drawn to it. Spiro, I think, was overcooking, and he even sent himself into the Molotov to burn to the flames and get overrun by players coming out from ramp as well, just as he's challenging Palace. They Molotov to top balk, and he went up the ladder into the flames. You know, that's one of those positions that just seemed like he didn't realize that maybe they missed the Molotov. You know, those are the opportunities you're supposed to thrive in. You know, punish them for their mistake. Spiro ended up empty-handed, and he's usually been so good, even in that defense of the A bomb site and getting his 1. Oh, kind of cute play, and Olimp getting both. In fact, a third offered up. Virtuoso finally putting it to rest, but there's another ult where that came from a second right behind the first.
What, you've never heard the double up B-side setup early on in the first 15 seconds?
I mean, they did it previously. They had 1 ult short. They had 1 ult, I think Olimp was like holding into the apartments, and they got caught off by that in regulation. So I have heard of it. I didn't expect it to go so well again.
Especially when this time both of them are trained onto apartments as well.
Yeah, just the fact that he's right behind him and not in a different position.
It's good to see Olimp getting a nice round out from underneath his wings as well. There have been some times where he's felt like he's a little bit dry despite being put in a position to perform. So hey, now's a better time than any other to start coming alive. Well, Casey, damage is good and the Molotov isn't. He can try and stay behind that smoke. Gives him all the time in the world, and as he jumps up and peeks out again, somehow Swizz still alive. Not for long.
Yeah, all that damage that Casey did. Not even really finished off by the ult. The ult hit a headshot. It didn't matter. Would have been a kill nonetheless. Brazy, once again, I mean, they've been in a position where they can close and take us out of Mirage, but Rebels are clamoring back. A very convincing defense. It was that double ult that surprised them. And now back to 4 rifles. They could have actually squeaked out another ult as well, so it's not like they can't afford to run that setup again, but deciding to shift things up.
Key duel might be out towards Palace in case he has won that. POLO taken down, Swizz disabled by the smoke, and the bomb will have to go a long way around if he wants to reroute. Instead, they're letting the rest of the team come to it, and well, they're not succeeding in that endeavor. Close to falls, and it feels like what? Would this be the 4th overtime potentially?
Yep. You see at the top of your screen it says overtime 3.
Ah. You can read. I can't.
And the next is overtime 4, and it's looking more and more likely, but maybe Prism has something to say. Nice clear onto Casey in a one-and-done angle, but something that could have gone unchecked. Especially as they're scrambling to get a plant into this A bomb site. Prism still moving forward. The flash in, but Spiro dodged it. And Flay also unaffected. Virtuoso fighting and unfortunately falling. So we go from 3 to 4. It's another overtime.
MR12 is a lie.
Shorter games. Ooh. And to be fair, on average, that is true. But as soon as we get into overtimes, it's a whole different ball game.
I am glad we still kept MR3 overtime, to be honest. I really hate the idea of, like, MR2. Really do. Not MR2, MR1. Actually, I don't actually know what MR would... You know what? This terminology is confusing, but Flay is confused. Mind the Molotov instead. Smokes it off a little bit late, and as a result of that, Prism can just take him down. All the visibility he needed, and they are accelerating in through short. Olimp, though, is the speed breaker. And the face breaker. And maybe even the heartbreaker. As he's broken the rest of his team's hearts. Goes back in 3v3, and Polo's there to recover the advantage. Brazy, despite looking like they may have given up a bit too much, are still firmly putting their foot forward.
Yeah, I have to say again, once it's always this pace. You know, the Brazy pace when they go in for these hits is actually so good at finding these trades and just continuing to capitalize and find more kills. Once again, converting on this B bomb site. Still 2 players alive here for Rebels that are trying their best to get some information about where they're last seen, but Kisserekk gets caught with a nade out. And so Spiro should simply save his AWP. These are worth their weight in overtimes. But, you know, Kisserekk was almost really the MVP of this round. I know Olimp got all the kills on short, but because they were heavily tagged via the con smoke into short, it kind of just teed Olimp to finish off the job. And had he gotten a third, he could have basically solo held that site. We were given so much more room for those rotates to spring on out. Not to be, though. Trading game is immaculate for Brazy. And surely at some point, you know, we've seen, I think, more T-side rounds than CT in these overtimes. Surely at some point, one of these squads has to be able to bridge in with 3 in a row.
Then they'll both do it.
Yeah, they could well just both do it.
Double push into underpass, and POLO feels like he smells some trouble coming over. A Molotov to try and prevent what's coming over, and despite the tag, it's actually through the wooden beam. Close to has found Kisserekk, and now they know there's 2 players in apartments. This is fully aware. Olimp's creating the Molotov to try and prevent the bomb plant. It's a good idea, but Flay still has to do the damage in the site itself. Meanwhile, Sparrow's nowhere nearby. He's not even a part of this map, it feels like. At least not in this round. Olimp found, taken down. They're ready for the second as well. They know he should be nearby. Casey comes forward, reveals himself, but traded out too quick. And now with the double up to try and retake, Rebels are about to find themselves in some difficult spots. Sparrow leading the charge in through short. There are guns that he can try and aim towards, but they both want to just maintain hand on the ops. Close down the distance. Sparrow can't get the quick scope, and Flay's the only one left alive. Bomb is ticking away. Time is ticking out, and they do not want to contest him. Not until he's fired off that shot.
Problems on the B-bomb site. Brazy once again cracking in and not allowing the retake to pull through here for the Rebels. I do think just keeping it simple seems to just work for these guys. And I mean, sometimes you just have to play into your strengths. They may decide to go for something of sort of equal pace. Once again, Rebel side, how do they try and address this? Because, you know, stacking a bomb site is certainly one way in which you can maybe look to catch them off guard, and it's how they'll start. No presence in through middle, and 4 gravitated towards A, but Brazy have heavy commitments in through mid. And still got 2 inside of the apartment, so it could be a link up to try and split onto B, but those players are hanging around connector. Maybe just anticipating that Rebels will want to fight back. Molotov slows them down and prevents them from actually linking together, and they are starting to pull some rotates over, but Olimp has to be that first port of call.
Molotovs all over Olimp's territory, and that port has been flooded by fire. No ships here. 5 versus 3 rebels. They're about to face down the eventuality that you discussed, Michael. Brazy looking projected to take 3 all.
And this may be their most comfortable round yet. 5 on 2, and not a lot of prospects. Spiro just trying to barrel through those smokes, taking down all the same, and Casey right behind him. They're trying to blow the smoke, but Prism's there to cover. It is 3 straight, and all survive here for Brazy, moving out of this overtime. The cleanest round of overtime we have had so far. And this might finally be the breaking point where we get out of Mirage and maybe say hello to Ancient.
Easy peasy, brazy squeezy?
Sure.
Yeah. I'd forgotten what our next map was. I won't lie till the HUD brought it up as well. I just assumed we're in Mirage forever.
Your problem was thinking that I remembered. I also saw it on the HUD, so...
Olimp runs straight through the Molotov. Meanwhile, damage is there as well, and CTs might be bumping bodies over in the smokes, but not really able to find too much fun out of it. 4 players in middle. Rebels are being locked in completely. Prism finds one, wants to keep it going close to nearby. The double connector setup is tearing them apart, and feels like Rebels will finally take the knee and lose 4 in a row. After putting up a valiant effort, they will not be able to steal their opponent's map pick unless Sparrow wants to go back to 1 KD.
This would be a crazy clutch to win, but Spiro has unfortunately not been able to convert so far for the squad. Does get past the watchful eye of Polo, who's had the hot hand on that ult. First shot is clean, but Swizz there to trade. So finally, Brazy closing on their map pick in the series, and it does take a lot of overtimes to clean it up, but Brazy get it done, and I have to say, they won the more convincing rounds. I think Rebels won some outrageous ones in regulation, sometimes in the overtimes as well, the man deficits, the clutches, so it did feel like Brazy almost, I mean, definitely deserved